Teacher competencies are one way you can invest and grow in teachers. My teammate Courtney and I are going to share a little bit more in this video how you can do this within your own districts. Hi, I'm Kelly from Education Elements. This is the second episode for Teacher Competencies. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below and get notifications on when the next episode is going to be released. Courtney is going to kick us off by sharing what we mean by teacher competencies.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm Courtney from Education Elements. Before we jump in, I want to share that in this video, we'll be talking about how we use teacher competencies in personalized learning so they can be used in whichever context makes the most sense for your school or district. Before joining Education Elements, I co-founded a personalized learning high school. The Innovation, Design, Entrepreneurship Academy was a community of innovators, challenging assumptions and designing creative solutions, one student at a time. We wanted to reimagine the high school experience to personalized learning in and out of the classroom. This started back in the 2014-2015 school year, before Education Elements had released its first white paper introducing us to the core 4 of personalized learning. And unsurprisingly, our teachers wanted to know, what does it mean to be a personalized learning teacher? And perhaps more importantly, what does it mean to be a personalized learning teacher at our school with our students? Sure, we had the rubric for what teaching looked like in the district, but it didn't show a progression for growth or specify the overarching components of great teaching. Too much of the teacher rubric read like a checklist. Do you show up for work on time? Do you dress professionally and turn in lesson plans? Unlike competencies, it didn't tell us, what are the skills teachers need? What are the ways we help each individual teacher get there? And how might we authentically demonstrate this? We needed to practice for teachers what we wanted them to practice for students. Focus on the most important key concepts to do their jobs exceptionally well. Support them with personalized pathways to grow in these areas, and offer autonomy and flexibility for how each teacher progressed and captured evidence of their mastery.
Competencies can align to any instructional model or concept. Here at Education Elements, we're going to align it to our framework known as the Core 4. We considered the key teacher actions that align to these practices and considered making a continuum. In the continuum, it outlines how a teacher would masterfully progress through the practices. We see this as a tool within your own teaching backpack, very similar to Justin's survival guide. The Core 4 continuum should be one way for anyone to be able to clarify their pathway within their teaching practices and also hone in on their teacher growth. You should see this not as a checklist or a rubric, but a tool that can help a teacher define what those teaching practices look like. Along with that, personalize their growth along the way. Teachers can demonstrate mastery by collecting evidence of how the Core 4 practices are living within their classroom. Courtney, Justin, and I wanted to provide a really clear example of how we've seen this come to life within a classroom within Bibb, Georgia. Sometimes that might look like showing a lesson plan that aligns to one of the competencies. Other times I've seen it where you might show evidence of how you're leveraging data within your own teaching practices. These competencies can serve as directional clarity for teachers on what instruction can look like within their own classroom. We also see the Core 4 continuum being leveraged as an opportunity for you to identify the gaps that you might see within instruction. We've seen districts where they'll use it to backwards plan for professional learning and to really align what they're looking for within their classrooms. The continuum should serve as a tool that aligns to the district's vision, reflects on the practices, and intentionally grows teachers.
We hope you take the action step Justin shared and connect with your stakeholders to reflect on the practices that are most important to your profession. Consider the skills you brainstormed earlier for what makes a teacher successful. How might your teachers demonstrate mastery of those skills? What are the ways that you can support teachers who haven't mastered these competencies yet?
Drop your answer in the comments and we'll be sure to respond to it. As a recap, we shared what teacher competencies are, what this looks like within one of our own district partners in Bibb, Georgia. And most of all, we just shared how teacher competencies can be leveraged to align on your district vision, intentionally grow your teachers, and really reflect on the practices you'd like to see within classrooms. The next episode of Developing Teacher Competencies dives deeper into how you can develop teacher competencies within your own district. Make sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notifications when it comes out. And if you like the content, we encourage you to like it and maybe even share it with a friend. See you next time.